Hi and welcome to Knowledge Centre TV. What I'd like to do is clear up the definition of total equity and available equity and the difference between the two. We've had quite a few questions via our Ask Us section of our website where people are in particular relation to the equity charge calculator and the Wealth for Life calculator as featured in our book How to Achieve Wealth for Life. People are asking what is the difference between these two things. So let me show you. What it requires firstly is simply an understanding of the formula. So total equity, as shown here, is an asset value minus the debt. So if we're talking an asset such as property, if we have a $500,000 property, you have $300,000 mortgage or a $300,000 debt on that property, the remaining difference is $200,000. Therefore the total equity available is $200,000. Now the way to access that equity, the whole lot, is you'd have to sell the property. So if you sell the property, you pay out the debt, you're going to be left with that $200,000. So that's a total equity. Now, what I've done here, I've already shown, prepared it, is the actual formula for available equity. Okay? Now, available equity is slightly different, and for this reason. A bank will usually only lend 80% of the value of a property. This is a property you already own. Now if you go out and buy new property, sometimes the bank will go to 90%, 95% and possibly even more. But available equity on the current assets you own is worked out in this fashion, and that is the asset value multiplied by 80% or maybe even 85% or possibly less, even 70%. Just depends on what the banks are willing to give you. But if we use 80% as a rule of thumb to show you the formula, that's asset value times 80% minus the debt gives you your available equity. So let's go to an example. $500,000 times 80% is $400,000. That means you can, basically the bank will lend you at the most $400,000 on this property if you're refinancing. $400,000 less the debt you already have on it. We're using the same example here, $300,000. So if you can borrow $400,000, you've already got a debt of $300,000, means your available equity is only $100,000. So as you can see, the available equity is less, and usually always less than, it's either the same or less than, your actual total equity available. So that's the difference between the two. That's the formula for calculating your available equity, is the asset value times the percentage the bank are willing to give you for the value of the asset minus the current debt you have. That gives you your available equity, and total equity is simply the value of the asset less your debt. So I hope that clears it up for you, for those of you who are a little bit confused by those two numbers, and that way you can see exactly how much you've got as available equity, because when calculating your buffer, which is what we cover in the How to Achieve Your Wealth for Life book, you can see how long you can last and how much more property you can purchase, and ultimately when you can ultimately live off the equity. So hope that helps, and thanks for watching. And remember, never stop learning.